How do I find the right special education tutor for my child? If your child is struggling academically, or if they have a diagnosis like ADHD, autism, a learning disability such as dyslexia, dyscalculia, dysgraphia, or any other difficulty in school, special education tutoring can help them tremendously. So, what should you look for when you're trying to find the right special education tutor for your child? Number one, you want to look for a tutor or a tutoring program that has tutors who specialize in working with students like your child. If your child has dyslexia, make sure that you choose someone who has extensive experience working with students who have dyslexia. If they have ADHD, make sure it's someone with extensive experience with ADHD and executive functioning coaching. The same is true for students who have autism and who have other kinds of challenges. Make sure it's someone who specializes in working with students who have a similar profile to your child. That's also true with your child's age and grade level. Some tutors specialize in working with very young students. Others love middle school and high school. You really want to make sure it's someone who not only specializes in working with students like your child in terms of their profile and their diagnosis, but also someone who specializes in working with students at your child's age and grade level. Next is expertise in specific methodologies. There are different approaches that are better for students who have different types of special education needs. For example, if your child has dyslexia or struggles with reading, the Orton-Gillingham method is the most ideal method for helping students build their core decoding and encoding skills, which is essentially their reading and spelling skills. What's really amazing about this approach is that first off, it's multisensory. So we integrate different senses into teaching, the visual, the auditory, and the tactile kinesthetic modalities. This includes tools like colored sand for forming letters, magnetic tiles, mini whiteboards, shaving cream, multicolored highlighters, all as part of a structured, systematic approach to teaching. Now, it's really important that the tutor or the tutoring program also begins with an initial evaluation to gauge your child's specific needs. For example, if they're struggling with reading, well, which aspects of reading are they struggling with? Is it decoding, meaning sounding out words? Is it more reading fluency? Is it reading comprehension or inferencing? Or is it a combination of these different aspects of reading? It's really important to identify the specific areas within the specific skill that your child needs help with. Even within decoding, some kids struggle with very basic words, consonant, vowel, consonant words. Others struggle more with longer words that have varying vowel digraphs. And some really struggle more with the longer multisyllabic words. Again, we want to do that initial assessment to gauge exactly what your child needs help with. Again, the Orton-Gillingham method is incredible for students who have reading challenges, who have dyslexia, and can really help them to immensely improve their reading skills. The same thing is true if your child has ADHD, for example. Many students with ADHD struggle with their executive functioning skills. These include skills like planning, organization, time management, task initiation. It's really important that whoever you choose for your child with ADHD has a strong toolbox with specific strategies that they can use to help them build their executive functioning skills. We also want to make sure that they both teach your child strategies and show your child how to apply those strategies to their relevant schoolwork so that your child will ultimately see how much these strategies can help them and how much easier their life will be as they move through school. Just to give you some examples of some strategies that a great ADHD tutor might use, one is a time management strategy. So many students who struggle with executive functioning also have difficulty with time management. So one strategy that we can use, or you can even reinforce at home, is called the ET versus AT strategy. And what this means is that, let's say your child has a task to do for homework, whether it's a science worksheet or whether it's a paragraph to write for school. What they should do is predict how long they think it's going to take to complete that assignment and write down the ET, or the estimated time. Then they should keep tabs on how long it actually takes to complete that assignment and write down the AT, or the actual time. We find that students with ADHD, with executive functioning challenges, often have a big discrepancy between those two times, the ET and the AT, when they start using this strategy. But the more they use it, the more they practice it, the more realistic they will start to become with their time, and the more their time management skills will start to improve. Another technique is setting up a workspace. You want to make sure that your child has a spot where they work every time they sit down to do their schoolwork. This should ideally be a desk in their room, but it doesn't have to be. It could be a spot on a communal table like a kitchen table or a dining room table. But the key is this is the spot where they're going to study and they're going to complete their homework. You also want to make sure that they have all of the supplies that they need for completing their homework. This could be pens, pencils, scissors, highlighters, a ruler. Whatever they may need for completing their schoolwork should be at their workspace. Now, if they work at a communal table like a kitchen or a dining room, you might want to help them create a supplies bucket where they keep all of the supplies that they may need for completing their homework inside that bucket, and they should carry that bucket to and from their room when it's time for homework in order to complete their homework on a regular basis. You want to keep it organized, and you also want to make sure that you restock supplies as they run low so that your child doesn't hop up in the middle of a homework session and wander around your home looking for additional supplies, which of course, as we know, inevitably leads to distractions and a loss of focus. Another strategy is really try to set a consistent homework time for your child. This could be right after school. Some kids like to sit down and get it over with. Others prefer a snack break or a physical activity break. Any time could work as long as there's consistency. Now, if your child has an after-school activity one day or sports practice, take a look at the calendar in the beginning of the week and set up times when your child will do their homework for the duration of that week to make sure that there's consistency, make sure that they complete their homework, and that they turn it in either electronically on time or they put it in their backpack to be turned in the next day. So many students with ADHD, we find, will complete their homework but then forget to turn it in or turn it in late, or they might forget to bring the supplies home that they need to complete their homework. So the more systems and strategies that we can put in place, the better. Other students like a color-coded system. This is something that you could set up during the summer, right before school starts, or really at any point during the school year. But the idea is that each subject has its own color. For example, science might be green, math might be blue, and so on. Every notebook and folder that corresponds to that subject should be in that color. So math should all be blue, science should all be green, and so on. And we can even apply it to assignment book, which is also great for your child to be using consistently, where once they complete, let's say, their science homework, they highlight that in green. When they complete their math homework, they highlight that in blue, just to bring in those colors and help bring in that consistency. The more concrete tools and strategies we can integrate, the better. And finally, when you're looking for a special education tutor for your child, look for someone whose personality they will connect with. Some kids like bubbly personalities and others like quieter personalities. Just try to make sure the chemistry is there, because when your child enjoys working with the tutor, inevitably they'll be more open to learning and more receptive to the tools and strategies that the tutor is teaching your child. Finding the right special education tutor for your child can truly be life-changing for them. Always try to be proactive as early as you can, then reactive down the road once the challenges become that much greater. At Knowledge Plus Tutoring, we specialize in special education tutoring that we provide on a one-on-one basis, both in person as well as virtually. We work with kids as young as the preschool level. We go all the way up through grade 12 and even some college and adult students as well. And we use all research-based multisensory techniques that are catered to the specific needs of each student. So contact us to see how we can help your child thrive.